Hello, my name is Julie Besaker and I am a civil celebrant, and I am also one of the training team with the International College of Professional Celebrants. And I want to talk to you today about the question, should children be allowed at funerals? You may have experienced this already as a celebrant, or you might be just setting out and thinking about your future ceremonies and how you might handle children at a funeral ceremony. We have to remember, I think, in the first instance, that grief comes at all ages and all different ways. When we think about the stages of grief and the cyclical nature of it, sometimes we forget that children feel these things too. We have to also think about the practical ramifications of having children in your funeral ceremony, and thinking about their needs prior to the ceremony is going to be key to making it a successful experience to everybody. First of all, let's have a little think about the potential challenges of children at funerals. They might not understand what's going on, and in doing so, they might be bored. Bored children are a recipe for disaster, really. So you might want to consider thinking with the parents and the caregivers what they might have to distract the children should they get bored. In their lack of understanding, they may also get confused and worried, or they might look around and see other people really upset and in turn become upset with them, not fully understanding the situation. They might not understand the rituals that we go through. Very young children may have their own needs during that, and obviously we need to find that out prior to the ceremony. It also has a repercussion that if a child has needs for any one of the reasons I've said about boredom or being upset or being confused, or a physical need, then that distracts the parents and caregivers. So once their attention is then gone, what I'm going to suggest is that we talk about these things prior to the ceremony and we put things in place. If we talk to the parents about the stage their children are at, their understanding of what's happening, have they experienced grief already, ask the child if they would like a role. Would they like to take part? Depending on how old the child is, an older child might like to write a small tribute or a small poem or do a picture. A younger child might want to place a toy or a flower on the coffin. Involving children in the ceremony will keep their attention and make sure that they feel part of it as well. If you're familiar with a crematorium, then you might know if there's an anteroom or a quiet room that caregivers can take the children to if they are distressed or agitated or disruptive in any way. Is there a breastfeeding facility in the creme? There should be, but just check. And also, I think we need to think about the children themselves. They may want you to talk to them and to acknowledge their grief, acknowledge how sad they feel, talk to them about it, and talk to them if they would like to be included. Now, of course, all this depends on their age, their needs, their abilities, and what kind of support they need. So I think the advice here is that excluding children could be detrimental in terms of their own grieving and healing, that as a nation, we perhaps should include children more in the grief process, but key to it is communicating before, finding out, asking those questions. What might your child need? How might they like to be included? What facilities can I provide? So there it is. There's the advice. I think the advice of communicating clearly probably transcends all of your ceremonies, but specifically think about children when, especially if it's a sibling of a child, that's obviously going to be even more challenging. So especially in that situation, think about how you can find out what they need before the ceremony. I hope this has been useful, and see you again.